What is up, guys? It is your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about 7 myths that people have in Dota that they need to break immediately because it is holding them back in Dota. These are ideas that I've accumulated over playing Dota for 6 years now. It's been a while. Love this game though. Play it every day. I've watched probably double the time I've played. If you guys feel the same way, smash that like button. I hope that we can get this video to 2,000 likes. I know, bit of a high goal, but I think it's doable. 2,000 likes on the video. Let's get to it. Also, leave a comment down below giving us a myth that you think needs to be broken. What is an idea that people have in Dota that is purely wrong and needs to be broken right away? You can think about it throughout the video, but I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And now, let's get into it. And quickly, before we get into the video, guys, I just want to let you know that I am creating a lot more content. I recently just made a video as well on the main gameleap website that you can sign up to down below, where I talked about how to stomp on Lycan. I feel like this hero is very underrated right now. I tweeted about it. I think this hero is insanely good and underpicked as a mid laner specifically. And I talked about that. I also am doing full-length coaching sessions that you can get. So if you want more content and you're not happy with the length of these YouTube videos, you want even more, gameleap is the place to go. It's going to teach you everything you need to know. That rhymed. Now you have to sub. And I hope to see you guys there. Click the link down below. And yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, so first things first. The first myth that I need to talk about is one that is very dear and true to my heart. And I even think, to some extent, this actually affects pros. It affects everyone, it affects myself as well. And that is the idea that if a hero gets nerfed, it's unplayable. This is something that I see a lot with players, or even just the meta or the trends, even people's mentality. A hero will get a slight nerf, like 0.3 agility gain off, right? Let's say PL loses that, and all of a sudden people will say PL is unplayable. You can't pick this hero. Oh my gosh, we have a PL, we lost. Like these type of mentalities. It's insane. It's insane. And really do keep this in mind. Do keep this in mind, because it can really change how you look at patches, not only at nerfs, but also at buffs. This myth goes both ways. People will say, oh, the hero got quote-unquote buffed, even if it's like 0.1 seconds less cooldown on one spell, and all of a sudden they're going to be like, this hero's good now, or has potential, or, and vice versa. So keep that in mind, guys. Just because a hero gets nerfed does not mean it is unplayable. If you have a comfort hero, and it is 0.1% win rate or worse, or 0.5% win rate worse, even 1% or 2% win rate worse, it can still work. It can still be good. If the matchups are right, and you buy the right items, and you play the lane correctly, and you cast your spells well, it is still viable. Now, the second myth I want to get into is one that is a little bit similar, so I won't harp on it for too long, but it is, if a hero is bad in the meta, you can't win with it. I'm going to list off a couple heroes that you know I personally hate, that people often will fade if are picked on their teams. Pudge, especially Pudge roaming, or Pudge 5, even Pudge mid at that. Lion, right? Let's say Slark if he's bad in the meta. A lot of people, if they see a hero that is picked, that is off meta, will say it is unplayable. Right now, people will literally just not try if they see that they have a PL and the enemy team has a Sven, because they will say PL is off meta, Sven is on meta, and Sven counters PL, therefore we can't win. That is absolutely not true. It is the farthest thing from the truth. The most impactful and important thing to win a Dota game is each and every single player's individual skill. It is significantly more impactful than what hero you pick, especially if you are not above 7 or 8k MMR. Alright, the next one, and let's slow it down a little bit. Let's go on to a lighter note. The third one is that Dota will have a patch. Guys, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, alright? If you've been waiting for the next patch to come out, other than the Jabate patch that we just recently had, which just balanced heroes only slightly and was completely uninteresting. I'm sorry, I don't like to be too negative usually, but that's just the truth. It's not gonna happen. Don't worry, Dota patches, you'll get your Wind Ranger Arcana though, it's fine. The Wind Ranger Arcana, you can spend more money on it, you can even buy more Battle Pass levels. Believe it or not, that is still possible. So if you guys were disappointed that you didn't spend enough money on this year's skin pass, you still can do it. Still possible. Don't worry about hero changes. Don't worry about map changes. That's not interesting, alright? I think Valve knows what you want, which is no TI and no patches. Alright, now I'm gonna stop hating. Obviously, there's reasons for the TI stuff, but I really wish we would get a patch. It's been a full month. Just something interesting, please. Just give a new hero, or, Okay, at number 4, the next one is kind of a cool one that I've observed in other games as well, specifically League. So I've been streaming a little bit of League as of late, in the attempt to see how far I can get. I'm going to be doing it for a month. And the point of this is I also hear this mentality in League players as well. I literally watched a streamer as well in League who said this exact thing when the game started. It was, it's fine that we don't win the early game, we scale. Now, this is somewhat true, so I don't want to completely dismiss the idea. A lot of people are going to say, Speed, you're out of your mind, how could you say that that's not true? Of course, teams that scale into the late game are, naturally going to do a little bit worse earlier on. Absolutely. Now, that's kind of the point I want to make. Just because you are playing Sven, or you are playing Terrorblade, and you're not necessarily a quote-unquote lane dominator, does not mean you should go 0-3, or 0-0, or 0-1, and lose the CS battle, right? That means you were just mechanically bad. That means you were not pulling creep aggro properly. Maybe you're not pulling enough. Maybe you're not CSing well, maybe you're not buying the right items. The biggest thing here, though, is that just because your team scales doesn't mean you should expect to lose the laning stage. There are so many things you can do in Dota to prevent this from being the case. You could literally tri-lane in a pub. Do you guys know how many times I've won my team pubs? Not literally, obviously it's not the only thing that wins you a game, but in solo queue, no one expects lane set swaps or lane, changes. And what I would do is bring my position for top if I thought the lane was near unplayable. Let's say, I'm playing AA, my safe laner is playing PA, and the enemy team has a Phoenix and a Mars. We probably can't do much, right? However, if you bring a third hero into the equation, all of a sudden the entire state of Dota changes. And even though you scale and you can maybe kill people when the AA is level 6 and PA has crit, you don't have to do that. Your team doesn't have to lose. You don't have to wait for 40 minutes to win the game. You'll very often see this in pro matches. A team you thought was going to play late game will often actually deathball and snowball, and that's because Dota is a very, very weird game. Next up at number 5 is something I actually read in a comment section lately. I don't think it was on Reddit. I think it was in a Discord. And people were talking about, maybe it's even in the YouTube comments of one of these videos, people were talking about going pro and what MMR is required to go pro. Like, what MMR do you have to hit? What number do you hit when you get considered being pro? The answer is really there is no number. It doesn't exist. You can, I guess, technically go pro when you're 1k MMR. But the real point here is that you don't hit an MMR and then all of a sudden be qualified to go pro. And that's actually like a big gripe with a lot of these tier 2 players right now. If you guys just follow a lot of people in the tier 2 scene, and frankly any region, on Twitter or any other social media, you'll see that a lot of them have gripes with how it's set up, with the fact that, there's no orgs, there's no proper tournaments, there's no money, and therefore going pro is almost impossible. There is a 10k MMR player, and multiple 9k and 8k MMR players who have never had even a chance to go pro, not even close. Now you might say, Speed, can't they play qualifiers and do well? Absolutely, but do you guys understand how hard it is to keep a team together of players who are all impatient, because they play video games all day, right? They're all impatient. They don't usually have good social skills because they play video games all day, which is just true. You know how hard it is to keep those people together? It is almost impossible. It is almost impossible. And you do not just hit a certain MMR and then all of a sudden get qualified for OG. No. And it's especially funny to me when people say, oh, but Kuroki, he was 7k MMR. He's ranked like 160 and there's players that are ranked 50 and not pro, Are they going to go pro? Why is Kuroki pro? It's because he's been playing competitive Dota for like over a decade. He has connections. He has proven himself to be a pro. But unless you are a proven pro or you are a prodigy, like you're the 1 in 1 million players. Actually, no, Dota doesn't have a million players. What am I saying? You're like a 1 in 600,000 or 400,000 players. Then you have a chance. You have a chance, like CCNC. It's like the only example I knew. All right, getting into the 6th point. Secret wins because of the draft. Now, I know I mentioned this throughout the video. I just want to say it quickly, okay? I've been seeing a lot of talk in the Twitch chats. It's like, I think that OG lost because they picked bad heroes. And yes, draft is very, very important. It is. Everything is somewhat important. But draft is not the, in my opinion, I will be honest, in my opinion, draft is not the main determining factor in whether or not a team loses. It is how they execute on their draft, right? It is how they execute on their draft and how they execute mechanically. Secret has 5 of the most mechanically skilled players in the game. The individual plays they make constantly are so insane. They're insane mechanically. Zaya is ridiculous. Nisha is insane. Puppy as a 5 player is bonkers. They're all good mechanically, right? It's not some insane teamwork in some like anime bond where they clap their hands together and then they're all of a sudden popping off. No, right? They're all mechanically skilled, and it's how they set up their lanes. It's every movement they make, the timings they hit, how they like pull the lane. These type of things are so important and need to be discussed more in things like Twitch chat. Will it ever happen? Absolutely not. Because people just want to say they shouldn't have picked Faceless Void and for OG as the last pick in their 3-game series. They've won millions of dollars and 2 TIs. I think they have a slight idea of what they're doing. Maybe they executed wrong. Alright, I'll stop. Well, let's get into the last and final point, and that is Phoenix is a balanced hero. Absolutely not. This hero is ridiculous. You get no attack speed, does way too much damage. Veil is absolutely broken, by the way, as well. So that's another thing. Quick little tip. Buy Veil right now, guys. That item is insane. It is way too cheap. I've been saying it ever since they changed the item. So you know, once again, your boy Speed gives you the best information. You want to know where else you can get the best information? Gameleap.com. We have plenty, thousands of pro guides where you can, learn from the best of the best. But no, in all seriousness, it will actually help you guys get to the next rank. I post content there every single day. I make a new video every single day for the website. Literally every single day. That is not me just saying that. You can go check it out if you don't believe me. It's not just reposted YouTube content. Sure, that is on the site, but it is literally unique content every single day. It's crazy. But getting back to the point on Phoenix, the hero is ridiculous. I think this is one of the strongest heroes in Dota. I've been watching the recent tournament, and every single game I see at Phoenix, it just does so much. It's good in the lane. Its mid-game is ridiculous. Fire Spirits does so much damage and prevents anyone from auto-attacking. And then Egg, it got buffed. It literally got buffed. The fact that it takes 6 hits now actually seems very substantial. You have to overcommit for this thing all the time. It makes people run out of position. It makes people clump up. And it does an insane amount of damage. Oh, and by the way, it stuns through BKB if it pops. Woo! Okay. Oh, and last but not least, this Meteor Hammer dive stuff that's been going on is whack. It's not only whack, it's actually really good too. You can siege from across the map, you can split push really easily. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is more of a, comical video, more of a comical take, but I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to gameleap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream. And that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're going to see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it. And yeah, thanks for watching.